Hello and welcome to the trade setup. In this video we are looking at D-Wave Quantum. It is time for another update and it seems we have formed a very nice reversal to higher prices, not necessarily in terms of the structure itself, but in the terms that institutions seem to start really buying into the quantum computing sector, and we see this reaction across many of these stocks that are in play here. Now, we have broken the levels of resistance we were tracking for internal extensions to lower prices. Today, we will be exploring the possibility of a breakout. We will be exploring the next levels of resistance to watch out for and what we can expect to form here in terms of a structure for the smaller time frame. But before we do that, let's go through the larger time frame to provide the context for this chart. So we have here one of the more bullish patterns for the quantum computing sector. We have here a series of 1-2 setups where on this chart we would be tracking a larger impulse, and within this impulse we would still be within a quite internal wave tree to the upside, and even inside it we can track even further extensions as I can track additional 1-2 setups within this structure. Yeah, this could be something like a wave 3 up, a wave 4 down, and the wave 5 could be ongoing, where even once we have a top within the current wave 5, even further extensions would be possible, and this wave 3 could still be the pattern that would be in formation. The positive aspect is that within any of these scenarios, any of these outcomes, we would have expected a pretty similar correction. We would have expected a 3-wave pattern into the area of support within one count or the other, and we would have expected a reversal into a wave 5 to new all-time highs within one of these counts. In our primary interpretation, we have been tracking this to be still part of the ending diagonal, where we would have a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5, and within this wave 5, we would expect to build an A, B, C structure, perfectly acceptable for this to be still the ongoing scenario. Then we could also consider that instead of having this be an internal wave 4, that even the large wave 3 could have a top, and this would have been a pretty substantial wave 4 correction, part of this 5-wave move to the upside. The proportions would line up quite nicely if we were to have this as a wave 2 and then this as a wave 4. It would be an appropriate match, but it's not necessary. I would still prefer to currently track the possibility of an extension on this chart, but depending on how this structure further develops, we may have a preference later on, but as it stands right now, we have identified this as a 3-wave correction. We have considered the possibility of a bottom being in place based on that alone, and we have been looking for a reversal to higher prices. We have been looking for a more reliable pattern to emerge from a smaller time frame. So we have been tracking within this structure this idea of a 5-wave move to the downside within the wave C. Of course, the wave C must always be a 5-wave pattern, and we have been considering this would be an ending diagonal, where this would have been a wave 1 down, a wave 2 up, a wave 3 down, a wave 4 up, and a wave 5 to the downside. We have been tracking exactly this structure ever since we bottomed within this wave 3, ever since we actually got this ideal extension within the wave 4, quite a nice proportion for this wave 2 for example, and we have been looking for this wave 5 to also build an A, B, C structure. In the previous video, we identified that within this A, B, C pattern of the wave 5, we would have a complete count possible. We did also mention that within the wave 5 itself, we had a stronger than ideal move to the downside. The momentum had been increasing instead of decreasing. So we were looking for potential resistance levels in the area of an extension, where this could have worked out in something like a 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Well, it seems we have broken above such resistance levels. We had the wave 4 resistance area up to $16.6, and even in the pre-market session, we already see pretty nice extensions to higher prices, where this will not really be a likely interpretation. This will not even be an outcome I would consider anymore, and even if we were to use the proportions alone, this wave 4 would have been too substantial for what we had internally in this as a wave 2. Now, if we wanted to consider this to be something like a 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, the proportions would have been a better match, but even then, we would still have broken the area of resistance we would have for an internal wave 4 in any of these structures. So instead of considering that this wave C would see further extensions, I would consider the pattern complete. I would track this within yellow now, and I would need new levels of resistance to look out for. I would like to see further signals that a bottom is in place. So instead, I would be considering the possibility that this wave 3 had extended all the way down here. The wave 4 would now be a possibility, and the wave 5 could extend to lower prices. And to be clear, this is not my preferred count. This is not my preferred interpretation. I am not tracking this because I find it likely to see this extension to lower prices. I am tracking this because I want new levels of resistance to provide further indications that a bottom is in place, that we will see a reversal, and this is next in line in my opinion. This is what I would watch for, and I'm talking here about the levels of resistance up to $22.6, where this could work out as a larger ending diagonal, still within the wave C. But again, we shifted the ABC pattern to yellow as I consider a bottom to be the preferred outcome rather than an extension within this structure, given the pattern that is currently available. Other than that, I would also be watching structural resistance we have at these previous highs from around $19 up to $20.5. The price has previously struggled significantly to get above these levels, and I believe this is something to watch out for. The same way we have been tracking support in this green box, we will now be tracking resistance in this red box as we extend into higher prices. And yes, if we get a sustained break above these levels, it would be a further indication that a bottom will be in place even before breaking the area of resistance in the white interpretation. To be clear, on this chart, we will have many other possibilities, many other opportunities to extend to lower prices. But given the reversal we have had in these last couple of days, we are looking with much better odds to see the extension to new all-time highs instead, as we only have so far a 3-wave move to the downside. And it even is within a flat correction, so it's not like we would be looking for a 5-wave pattern to extend to lower prices within this structure. But of course, extensions are always possible to higher prices, to lower prices. We would instead watch the levels of support and the levels of resistance for better indications. And for that, we will go into the smaller time frame, where unfortunately, the structure isn't as promising as we would have liked. We do not even have a clear 5-wave move to the upside to track within this area. And what I would likely have to consider is that this would have been a wave 1 up, a wave 2 down, and now we would be within the wave 3 to the upside, even in the most bullish interpretation of this structure. Why? Because we do not have the possibility of tracking an impulse here, because in the wave 1, for example, we only have 3 waves to the upside, and even afterwards, even if I wanted to consider this to have been a truncation, once again, we only have a 3-wave move to the upside. So I would rather consider that this would be a wave 3 currently forming within the area of something like an A, B, C pattern. In this structure, we can, however, look for further extensions, but of course, let's label even this. And within this wave C, I would of course be looking for the 5-wave pattern. So I would have here a wave 1 up, a wave 2 down, and a wave 3 that would currently still be ongoing. And given that within this structure, we are still extending to even higher prices, I cannot provide the most clear area of support to track for a wave 4 currently, but as we extend higher within this wave 3 and we form a more substantial top, we would start looking for the area of support down to the 50% retracement, as I would currently prefer to track this within the area of an impulse. And if this really is to be an impulse, however, I would have to consider this to be something like a 1, 2, and the wave 3 internally would still have to be ongoing. If we form a top sooner rather than later, if we only extend into the pre-market session, let's say, and we push directly lower, I would rather be prepared for this to instead be unfolding as an ending diagonal within the wave C, but I would currently give it time to actually unfold. And if we want to have a better idea based on a real example, we can have a brief look here at the extended trading hours, where yes, if we want to assume the top of this structure to have been the wave 3, we would be looking for support as low as $16.1 in the worst case, where yes, this wave 3, this entire wave 3 would have a top in place. But again, I could be looking even for internal extensions, and I could consider another fourth and a fifth to be due before assuming a more substantial top would be in place. Yeah, something like a 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Currently, I do not believe it is time to focus too much on this, and this is not where the opportunity resides. What I'm looking for in terms of a confirmation is not here within this smaller time frame, is not here within this structure. I would instead be looking for the initial 5-wave pattern to the upside within a leading diagonal. Yeah, clearly this can be no impulse. And then once we have this structure complete, I would be looking for a 3-wave correction. And in the area of support for a wave 2, I would be looking for another opportunity, possibly more aggressive accumulation. But this depends on everyone's situation, because I've been grabbing some positions even as we were extending into this green support box, even before we started this movement to the upside, this reversal. And for now, there really isn't much else to add at the moment. You have the levels of resistance to watch out for. You have some idea of how you can look for support in terms of a wave 4 internally, but this is no trade setup within this fragile structure. The trade setup rather resides on the larger time frame, where even currently we are still below the 38.2% retracement. This is still an interesting opportunity in my opinion. And for now, these are the levels. This is the trade setup. I hope you enjoyed the video. And if you did, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and if you enjoy our content and want to support us directly, check out our channel membership. And as a thank you for any of these actions, I would like to invite you to sign up to our channel newsletter, where you get access to our monthly top picks, where we identify for you high quality structures. This chart has actually been one of those opportunities, and we have highlighted as we were extending into these last few lows of these structures. Other than that, let me know what else you would like me to cover, and I'll do my best to do that in the days and weeks ahead. And until then, I wish you a nice day, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye bye.